Well, it's been pretty dramatic, like it has any business, you know. And I think what it's done is it's been a filter and a shake-up. It's shaken an awful lot up. I think if you look at it, if we talk about the UK first of all, rather than globally, although what's happening in the UK is also reflected globally, there was about 17,000 recruitment businesses in the UK, which is an estimate. There was never an official figure, but about 17,000 estimated by the REC. It's currently 13,000. So we've lost about 4,000 businesses. And although there's no official figure of how many people have exited the business, if you consider the average size of a recruitment business is 3, you know, you're talking about somewhere close to 9,000 to 12,000 people leaving the industry, leaving and exiting the industry or losing their jobs.
Right.
So it's been pretty decimated. There's about a third of the industry is left. And it's also changed. The economy has changed an awful lot. I think for the last, anyone who's worked in recruitment for the last 9 years, since the last recession really, since 2004, anyone who's worked in the recruitment industry during that time, really we became delivery animals, and the business was driven by speed and quite a low client base.
Yeah.
And there wasn't an awful lot of quality in the business because the clients weren't that worried about it because they were doing a lot of recruitment, and it really became job board led. First to the job board, first to the CV database, first one to get it back. So it was a foot race. And that drove even the businesses that wanted to do a quality job couldn't, because they were, you know, forever they were saying to me, well, we tried to ring the candidate, talk to them first before we submitted them, but by the time we talked to them and put them forward, the client already had them. Plus the fact a lot of clients went down the route of setting up VMSs, which, you know, means there's no conversation about what the job spec is, there's no real understanding of the job. Equally, the internet changed the expectation of job seekers, really, candidates. It changed the way that they work, because historically the way in which they'd work is they'd come and see me, they'd come for an interview, you know, you would never dream of sending anyone out without having met them, so they'd come and see you, and because of that you were restricted in terms of recruiting in quite a local geography. What the internet's done is it's opened up the geography so you can recruit over a much wider physical basis. It's not a problem, but it's also killed the art of the interview, if you like, because it's been much more about CVs. The candidates have had their CV, used their promiscuous digit, got the CV out to so many places, they don't really know what jobs they've applied for. They don't really have time for interview. It's snatched conversations, a few notes scribbled on it. If you look about right in terms of skills and experience, your CV gets scrubbed up a little bit and stuck in the email. So really, all the what I call the basic skills, which is understanding the job requirement, the cornerstones of good recruitment, is understanding the vacancy and understanding the candidate. That's the cornerstones. And all of those skills were gone, but the clients were also not requiring them. They were driving the recruiters away from them. I think the recession's come along, and a recession in recruitment has 4 stages. So the first stage of recession is the temporary business and contract business rises quite significantly and the perm business drops off. And between about May and November of 2 years ago, so 2008, that's really what happened. Anyone who worked in the temp business was saying, what recession? It's off in America, it's nothing to do with us, you know, head in the sand, newspapers, scaremongering, all that kind of stuff, because they were all recording record figures that they'd ever done, you know, much bigger than they've ever done. The second phase of a recession, the temp business drops off and the perm business just slows to nothing. And that happened from November in the UK. It was like someone unplugged the power. Market collapsed, went down to nothing. There was no temp market, no perm market, no pipeline. And that's kind of the time everyone got into social media because we thought we better look busy, in all honesty. But there was no, it was the real Badlands. It was very depressing. It was also an opportunity for a lot of companies in the UK, and this was echoed globally, to make strategic large-scale redundancies. There were a lot of businesses who used the opportunity of the recession to move their manufacturing businesses out to China and India and Poland and other places, which were more economical for them to produce, which I think they've been waiting to do for quite a few years, because it kind of coincided with all the grant money running out and being available in other parts of Europe. You know, they're all on 5-year grants. That finished, and off they went from Wales to China or wherever it might be, where there was more grant money available. So there was real significant cutbacks and very depressing about anything that was going on. The third phase of a recession is when the temp business starts rising week on week, and that's been happening since March of last year. So we're close to 12 months of every week. The figure that I look at is not the total volume of temps and contractors working with the business I work with, the number of individual clients that are working with them, and that's gone up slowly and steadily since March last year. And I'm expecting that rise to continue. The perm market's getting a bit more confident, but it's changed in terms of the way that they work. And what's changed is the customers are working with a lot less agencies. They want to work with 1 or 2 real partners, and they're demanding value.
Yeah.
Not necessarily price, but they're demanding that you actually do some work. So they're saying, if it's going to be posting price, sticking on a job board, we actually might as well do that.
Right.
And interestingly, more of them have set up corporate recruitment departments and so on. And I think that's going to be one of the big changes in the UK currently. 85% of people who get a job get it through recruitment companies. It's the highest in the world.
Yeah.
Compare it with somewhere like America, where it's about 13%. You know, that's how different and how developed our market is.
Yeah.
But you know, I think that's going to decrease to somewhere around about 50% over the next 12 months as more companies take on both the technology and the capability to be able to recruit themselves. But the pipeline's coming back in, but the clients are now saying you need to demonstrate value. Things like KPIs are becoming important. I think the big measure for recruitment value now over long-term relationships is going to be retention.
Right.
Whereas it was volume of hire previously, how many people you placed. Now I think it's going to be how many people you placed and how many of them are still here, and what's the ratio.
Yeah.
So lots of things like that are going to become important.
Okay.
The length of interview has doubled. So whereas the average length of decision-making time was 3 weeks, it's now 6 weeks. And from a candidate's point of view, offer declines are up as high as 50%, whereas previously they were running 2 or 3%.
Right.
So as people have gone all the way through this 5-6 interview process, with chairman's done all kinds of tests, had to give their inside leg measurement and all the rest of it to get a job. And they've gone all the way through that process, got to the end and said, actually I want to stay where I am. So the candidates are also looking for a very different relationship with their recruiter. So the watchword now in the new market is relationship. And I think what we're seeing is a shift from transactional, automatic, mechanical, IT, email-based, into relational, where phone contact communication is much more important. And that you're maintaining a relationship with some kind of talent pool.